Before getting into the topic today, I just wanted to give you guys a reminder of a heads up of what is the best way to enjoy this webinar. The best one is always to be present, mentally present today and actively engaged. The way that you can achieve that is through turning off your phone and computer notification for the next hour or so. Do grab a pen and paper. I'll give you a couple of seconds here. It is great to have some sticky notes and some colored markers, but don't worry if you don't have those. Anything that's good to jot down some ideas would be great. Put down maybe some questions that you might have throughout the webinar, because we will address those at the end of the around the end of the webinar, and you can also put them into the chat box. My name is Elena Manole. I'm a business owner and I'm a productivity and time management coach. I live by the quote that you guys see on the screen. That is the key is not to prioritize what is on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. I do thrive on plans and spontaneity. I love getting things done. That's a motivator for me, and I try to live the best life that I can. Try to remember that I am already living in my vision, but the vision takes some work and at times can be challenging. I also love running and I love yoga, and in my free time I do write and I try to learn ukulele. And the way that I am able to do all of this by running 2 businesses is by prioritizing, putting on my schedule my priorities. So I do actively choose what goes on my calendar, and I choose actively to do those. Cool. On the agenda today, we will be going through an introduction. We will be chatting about struggles and challenges while working from home as a freelancer or remote worker. We will go through some prioritization, and we'll be talking about priority metrics, which is a great tool to learn how to prioritize. And we'll also be sharing some real life examples. We'll then go into another topic, which is communication while working remotely, and how do we engage with our team to create the best working environment, both as a freelancer and as a remote worker. We will then be going into some productivity hacks. I'll be sharing some of the techniques that you can start using today to become more productive. Some of them are the Pomodoro technique and also eating the frog, but many others. We will then round up everything with sharing a weekly and monthly review, how to do those. And we will be answering some questions at the end. Let's start with struggles and challenges. So you have your piece of paper and you close all your tabs and you are free of distractions just for this next hour. So do please use that piece of paper and write down the first 3 challenges that come to your mind when you think about working from home. Don't spend too much time, just jot down a 3 of them. We'll be chatting more about those afterwards. But if you take a few seconds, that would be great. Cool. I hope by this time you have a few of them. The struggles and challenges that I found while working both remotely with a team of people in the data industry, and then now that I run my own business, so as a first-hand experience as well as working with clients, is that one of the main challenges is to learn how to manage our time when distractions may arise. And the most challenging thing is that we live in a very technological digital world, which can be both an advantage and disadvantage. And learning how to manage our time during this periods of very intensified workflow and also notifications on, it can be quite challenging. Learning and about our team and staying in touch can be also very, very challenging. It's very it has some added complexity, learning how to integrate in a team and working with a team in a collaborative way while we are working remotely or as a freelancers, than actually being at the office and grabbing a coffee with a colleague. So that's also something that I found as being a struggle, a challenge, but in working from home. Developing relationships and improving communication in that space can also be challenging. So we will be talking about how we can improve that and how we can actually work on developing relationships in a work environment, even when we work from home or we are freelancers. And then we will, the struggles that I found in working with clients and also with my team previously and now on my own, is that prioritizing our workflow when we have so much unstructured time and so much independence can be a challenge as well. And also then doing reviews. So how do we know that we are keeping on track with our projects? And that's the challenge that I found by working with others and observing my team as well as myself. That's an interesting slide that I've been kind of pulling together with one of the next ones, is that we have so many different distractions, and they can be good distractions. Slack is it's great for communication. Emails are great as well. WhatsApp and social media to keep updated with everything that happens in the world. But at times when we want to do great work and to finish projects on time and to deliver great value to our organization that we're working for or our core clients, it can be quite challenging and difficult to keep up with all of this and still do deep work. So we'll be opening with the priority matrix. Being distracted actually is part of the game. There's no way around it unless we go in a cave somewhere in the mountains. Knowing our priorities and doing our work is our responsibility. So as per my quote, learning what are our priorities and doing that and learning how to put those in our calendar is the key. So how do we then learn to let go of distractions and focus on what really matters? That's the questions that we'll be answering. But first, we want to know what we are dealing with. The key to being productive is to know what we deal with and to find solutions in order to manage them. I gathered some stats out of a Google research, and it's been really impressive to see that we, on average, have around 46 notifications, push notifications per day. And the other day on Monday, I kind of counted my WhatsApp conversations that I had on one day, and I think I had 30 or 40. And I do a lot of my work, it's on WhatsApp. So it's kind of mind-blowing to see how many interactions we have every day in terms of notifications, but also emails as well. And the surprising thing that came out of this research is that it takes about 23 minutes to get back to a task after being distracted. So if we are distracted about 3 to 4 times on an average per day, because maybe we don't pick up our phone or we don't check our emails every hour or so, but we do have some space in between, it does take about 2 hours and 10 minutes per day to get spent into distractions and then to get back into a place of deep work. And that's really interesting, a number to look at. 2 hours per day, it makes of 10 hours per week. And then if you work 40 hours per week, that's 400 hours gone. And it's very important to learn how to manage this because we cannot escape from them, but we can manage to get around and prioritizing and scheduling our work accordingly. We do spend 28% of our day on answering emails, and we send on average 40 emails per day. And how do we limit then distractions? Some of the key aspects of distractions and limiting them is or to disable the notification. It might be very it might be quite intuitive to be like, okay, let's put the notification off, but I was surprised to see how many of us do have notifications on. So we need to, because we don't have to turn our notifications all the time off, but we need to do that when we have to focus on a task. We need to put our phone on airplane mode or switch off all the notifications. In this way, we avoid being distracted, so we will not have to spend 23 minutes to get back to a task, and then we will be able to manage our energy in a better way that suits us to the best. We can also plan our communication time. I think that's my favorite strategy. If I schedule my time in terms of communication on my WhatsApp or my emails, I know that I will spend 30 minutes in the afternoon after my lunch break, because that's where I'm a bit sleepy. So I'm just going to spend time on communication with my clients or with my team, with whoever needs my attention. And I know that that's done. And then I can go back into my workflow. I can spend 30 minutes in the morning as well to just go through anything. And then I can spend 5 minutes or so in between when I finish tasks, just to make sure that there is nothing that needs my attention. Another way of limiting distractions actually is taking breaks. At times we pick up our phone just because we want some mindless moments, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to have some of those moments where we just like relax our mind, but that doesn't have to be scrolling through our social media, because then thanks to algorithms that we kind of keep into that space, and it can be more difficult to get back to whatever task we were doing. So some examples of mindless moments can be having a snack, going for a walk, and even house chores can be a great way of doing having some mindless moments. And we also will have some stuff done. So that's a great way of achieving the same goal or same rewards that we are looking for when we go on social media or email systems with this other tools. Creating a barrier, it's a great solution for limiting distractions. We will go here with the policy out of sight, out of mind. You can take your phone into another room if possible, find a quiet, dedicated space where you can focus exclusively on work. That's great. It's great to have an area with your house. Maybe if you're not able to have a full a room for your office, for your home office, it's great to have even one space in your room, a corner where you have your desk, and you know that when you go on in that area, that's where you do your deep work, and there are no distractions coming there. Then something that I find really helpful and working with clients has been really, really revealing is that when we have many things to do, we can be overwhelmed. And in order for us to make sure that we're working on the projects and items that are important and move the needle, we'll see more about that in a second, it's very important to, first of all, write all the tasks that you need to get done on a piece of paper or in any tool, task management app that you have. There are plenty of them, project management tools or task management tools that are great for that. And then if you can associate each task to a project or area that you're working on, that's great, because then you have really clear what task is related to. And then you can classify them by asking the following question. Is it urgent and important? Then you want to get it done as soon as possible. If it's important but not urgent, then you can schedule a time in your calendar when you will do this task. And if it's urgent but not important, you can choose to delegate. That's something that is urgent for someone else, but it's not important for you. And you want to be very mindful about this part, because many times in our mailbox, in our inbox can come some emails that are have the feel of urgent, but they are not actually important. So we don't need to deal with that. If it's not urgent and not important, then we just let it go. And it's not that simple. We'll see with some real life examples that it cannot be very simple to let go of those not urgent, not important. And in the urgent and important category, on the left hand, upper left hand quadrant, these are the tasks that require your attention and need to be done as soon as possible. Those are the things that you want to make sure that are done. This can be anything, like, for example, if you launch the project and there are some tweaks that need to be done to the coding or whatever, you have to be dealing with that immediately, because that impacts whatever the project is dealing with. If it's important, not urgent, then these are the tasks that you want to do and to prioritize and put on your calendar. That's when it's very important to make sure that you use that time in your calendar to do this important task. They will move the needle. I love to remind my clients and also to myself when I build my own calendar and my priorities, is that if it's important but doesn't have a feel of urgent, it's very, very meaningful, and I need to be doing that. This is my sweet spot. This is where my productivity will move forward. That's when I know that I'm working on the important tasks. We tend to postpone these tasks because they don't have the feel of urgent, but indeed they are essential in moving our life both professionally and personally forward. If it's important, urgent but not important, these are the tasks that can be done by someone else. You can outsource, you can delegate, you can let this go. Your skills will be better used when you leave these things to people who will do them in a better or more efficient way. And yes, of course, you'd be the best person at doing it. That's always the case. But delegation is also very, very important in improving your productivity. So do learn to delegate. That will make a huge impact in your career. And learning to prioritize your work and to use your skill to the best of your possibility will definitely speed your progress in your career. If it's not urgent and important, then these are the activities to let go. These are those mindless-ish tasks that we can do. It's about messaging on all the WhatsApp groups that exist today, catching up with the gossip, watching all the episodes of your latest favorite series, engaging with endless scrolling. And there's nothing wrong with watching series and stuff. We have to be mindful about giving ourselves a certain period of time where we do those activities. So if we think about ways of unwinding and that nurture our mind, we will find that we can actually come up with positive and affirming actions that will help us relax and unwind. So the next aspect that we want to look at is communication. In working from home and also being freelancer, the key in building that collaboration with your team is about learning how to communicate in an efficient way. You want to make sure that you introduce yourself as soon as you join the team, or as a freelancer, you make sure that you have an introduction with your core client. You don't need to overly engage in endless meetings. We know that being on Zoom can be draining, but we do have to remember that a good communication policy will be necessary in terms of improving and having an ongoing two-way communication with our team. So we do need to make sure that we have a certain number of meetings per day. In being efficient and productive at work as a freelancer or as a remote worker, we need to learn who are our core clients. We want to individualize them and to learn how to communicate with them and how to get in touch with them when there are some issues. Be it your project manager, your direct client, your scrum master, you have to learn to have clear communication and establish good relationships with these core clients. And whenever you feel overwhelmed because you have been delegated tasks from your manager or your scrum master, you have to kind of take a step back and look for directions. Go back to your client, your manager, and ask, what is the priority at any given moment? You know what your time is because you have an allocated time for your project, and then you go and say, hey, actually, there are many tasks that I cannot fit within my allocated time. Can you help me prioritize? What do you think is the priority for this moment, for this project? And learning to be open to feedback from our manager or our direct client will really, really help us improve our productivity and focus on the things that are meaningful for the project that you're working on. Your team is fundamental as well to your success. You want to have a collaborative experience with them because this will help you succeed working remotely. I see it from myself, I see it from my clients. Being able to grow strong relationships within your team is super, super important. One of the tools that I've been using and strategies that I've been using and I've been sharing with colleagues as well is that whenever we have some free time and we feel like engaging in some relaxed chats with our colleagues, we can actually post a note on the work group messaging app and just let someone know that we are available. It can literally take 5 minutes. You don't have to be in a Zoom meeting where there are like 5-10 people and it's hard to voice your opinions and or concerns. But you can use this 5 minutes with your team, with one of your colleagues, and share what's on your mind, what are you working on, and then ask for feedback on something that you're struggling with and you need help with. In this way, you will be able to share your burdens as such and not feel isolated in any ways. Because you do want to feel part of a team. It's great. It's a great tool when you have some downtime and you want to have that relaxation moment, but also engage with your colleagues. So that's for the communication side. We will go into some productivity hacks. And in working from home or being freelancers, we have the great opportunity of not having to travel into an office. So we save about probably an hour or maybe even more, an hour and a half if you're based in big cities like London or Istanbul. And you also save energy as well. So you can straight in the morning after having a nice restful sleep in the night, having a good meal in the morning and feeling fresh, having a shower, that's can be your prime time for those people who are morning people. And you want to use this time to work for your most important tasks for the day. You want to know the tricks of the business you're in. So apply this hacks and make them yours. If you want to become productive and learn how to manage your time better, you want to put some effort into making this productivity hacks part of your makeup as such. In being productive in your personal and professional life, it's not a one-off thing that you do once and then you become productive and that's it. It is about building healthy habits. Make these habits your default mode and your productivity will improve exponentially. I've been testing it again and again by starting small, building small habits, setting ourselves small goals will make a big change in our productivity. So some of the productivity hacks that have been working really, really great with clients, and they're also known in all the productivity books that you will read. You just open a page and you see some of these tasks, some of these hacks. One of them is eating the frog. That's quite famous out of a book. Don't remember now the author, but basically you want to learn doing some introspection. You want to learn what is your prime time and use it to the most of your abilities in order to tackle challenging tasks. You want to learn what is your prime time by observing yourself. You want to learn to adjust accordingly to your energy amount and it's great to find that truth for yourself. So if you're a night owl and you find like your energy spikes in the evening, then you can put some time in your calendar for those 2-3 hours in the evening where you tackle some of your most challenging projects. I, for example, am a morning person, so I prefer to get done the most difficult task in the morning, and there's a kind of a rewarding thing to do that in the morning. So throughout the day, I feel like I accomplished something, and my day has been already quite productive. But you don't want to accept any outside convention. You don't have to be force yourself in being a morning person. Whatever is your prime time, learn to use it and make the best of it. That will help you increase your productivity very, very quickly. Another technique is called the Pomodoro technique. You need to, so if you know that you need to deliver a task or presentation and you have a specific deadline, you want to write down how much you think you'll need in terms of time for each task. And then you break it down into small chunks of 25 minutes. You want to take 5 minutes break every 25 minutes and then take a longer break after 4 sessions of this. You want to let your brain rest in between, but I would suggest, and it's recommended as well, to not engage with anything that will distract you. So for example, if you go into social media, you might be engaged with that and you might end up after 40 minutes realizing like your Pomodoro timer went off, or your 5 minutes went off, and you're still doing something that was kind of helping you to rest, but it got into distracting, and then you have to spend 23 minutes to get back into whatever you're doing. So avoid that type of distraction. Single tasking is a great hack. I think I invented this way of saying it. It's as simple as it sounds. You just want to finish one task before you begin another one. If you switch between tasks and you don't finish one and then you're doing something else, then it happens that you are being distracted. So your brain will be challenged to switch from one task to the other, and will take those 20 minutes to get into deep mode. Otherwise, you just work on a very surface level, and you don't want to do that when you work on something very important. You want, if you have any roadblocks, so for example, you cannot move ahead because there's something challenging and you need some answers, you write those roadblocks down, you get in touch with whoever needs to solve that roadblock, and then you just move on to the next task. It's very important to put that information in your tool of project management of choice. So you want to let know your boss or your client, whoever you're working with, that this is what the roadblock is, and this is where you are with each task. So you know that you have clarity around each task and project, and you know that you will move ahead with that specific task when you have the answer. Another productivity hack, which can be counterintuitive, is to have some time off. You never want to underestimate the power of time off. It's very important as working from home, people and freelancers, that we need to set clear boundaries as per when our working day starts and ends. It's very, very important, especially when working from home. It's very easy to drag our quote unquote office problems into our day-to-day life. If there's anything that is upsetting, you can discuss it with a friend or your partner and set a reminder for yourself to let it go as soon as you share it, and then to enjoy your time outside of quote unquote the office that you create for yourself. Make sure that you have a balance between all the activities professionally and personally as well. And then we'll round up with the reviews. It's great to have the space in your week where you spend some time with your project management tool. You assess your project, you kind of assess where you are in terms of your other areas of life, and you see whether there is something that you can tweak. If there are other boundaries that you need to put in place so that your work-life balance improves. so if you're a freelancer working on a variety of projects within your team, you will need to make sure that your time is optimized in the best way possible across all projects. And you do need to keep in mind your personal life, your hobbies and relationships, because it's very easy to just open your laptop and work just another bit on that project that you need to do, while you could do well with spending 2 hours with your friends. Because as we saw, taking time off will have a great impact on your productivity, and you'll be more focused, your mind will be more relaxed, and you will enjoy your time when you go back to work. So do not underestimate the power of having that time. So the way that we do weekly reviews is that we sit down every week with our projects and calendar. We go through our calendar. We allocate the time that we need to complete projects and to meet deadlines. Create a timetable for yourself, for your routines, and keep in mind that your hobbies and your priorities have your hobbies and your relationships have to go on your calendar. In order for me to write my book, to play my ukulele, to learn how to play ukulele, I have to put it on my calendar. In order for me to enjoy my salsa class, which I do enjoy on a weekly basis, I have to make sure that that session is in my calendar. It's very easy to let go of our appointments with self. I talk about that with clients, and they're quite surprised because they would not say no or let down a friend of theirs, but they will say no to whatever their hobbies are and just prioritize something else. Maybe a work email that came and has the flavor of being urgent, but actually it is not. So just take whatever time works in your week. I do this type of reviews on a Sunday. It's just great to open your email inbox, process your email inbox. I love going to zero inbox. It's my policy. Create an action, a folder on your calendar, on your inbox, and put those that take more than 2 minutes so they can answer them. Open your calendar, look at your 2 weeks, that come, and learn to make space for those things that really important and really matter. I have a template that you can grab on the link that you see on the screen. There we talk more about the power of saying no, getting out of commitments that don't resonate with you. Is very important to make sure that what goes on our calendar is in line with our vision. I do help clients to make sure that they know what their vision is in terms of like broader scale. And as a freelancer or working from home employee, it's very important for us to know where do we want to go from here. So when we talk with our core clients, we know what to ask them in terms of new challenges, in terms of projects. And we also know how to say no to meetings that can be too much for us. So we don't need to engage with every single meeting that we've been invited to. So know your priorities in terms of your workload. Learn to prioritize also your hobbies and your relationships. Have boundaries when it comes to your work, and don't underestimate the power of accountability, whether it's with your team, remote team, whether it's with your friends. Just if you struggle with implementing any of these tricks, maybe just ask a friend of yours to help you with this. Send them a message saying like, hey, I'm going into a 4 session of Pomodoro technique. I will take a break every 25 minutes for 5 minutes. I will not engage with any social media or with my phone in general. I will do some walking, and then I can check in at the end of this 2 hours and to let you know that all went well. It can be difficult to start with, but as we implement this practices into our life, they become more and more a habit, and we will be able to improve our productivity and the way we manage our time. So hopefully you guys can take one of these tools that I shared with you today. Maybe use that pen and paper that you have and jot down one experiment that you will do with yourself for the week ahead. Maybe you're actually looking for a job in a company and you're wanting to send those X amount of CVs per week, and you want to challenge yourself, or maybe you want to limit your time that you spend on your phones, or the time that you go to bed. You want to put that a limit to your screen time. Jot down that idea, and then maybe, I don't know, we can share it in your in the chat box, or you can share it with your friend, whoever you want, and we can keep you accountable.